Last week, Beto O'Rourke live streamed his dental cleaning. While it was happening, the Daily Kos delivered 25,000 roses to Nancy Pelosi. The same week, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what are the Democrats projecting here? I'm just curious. I mean, I'd love to look. You are truly a little bit older millennial, but pretty much millennial.
Yeah.
And I want to know what it is that your reaction is to it. As a late baby boomer, I'm going, what the hell? Wait, what's your take on it?
This was such a weird day. I mean, I understand Beto thinks that I'm going to use social media. I'm going to show myself. I'm doing daily things like a normal human. There wasn't anybody in this country, no matter how much you like Beto, that wanted to look inside of his mouth and watch his dental cleaning. That was crazy. That was crazy. And then Marcos Malitsis from Daily Kos comes in and says, all right, you think that was crazy? I've got $83,000 worth of roses.
That people donated, by the way.
Yeah, they donated $83,000. And he walks into her office. He's only got $7,000. She decided to donate the remaining $18,000. But what's funny too is when you see the picture of Pelosi walking in to Marcos standing there and all these roses, even she looks terrified.
Like you are an idiot. Like you are truly an idiot. Okay, and he is the guy. I mean, come on. Here's his rationale. This is our time to be nice to each other. This is such conflict. This is our time. Okay, be nice. Take $83,000 on behalf of the Democrats. Give it to food pantries. Give it to homeless shelters. Give it to school lunch programs.
Yeah.
Do something that means something other than a millionaire, Nancy Pelosi, giving it to giving these things to Nancy Pelosi. She has to make the decision. This is so stupid, which she, I don't know, I guess to her judgment, it's a good move. She says, I can't take all 83 of these roses.
This won't fit in my car. What am I supposed to do here?
So she sends them to the VA hospital.
Right.
Good for her. But I'm just, what does this project in a bigger picture? What does it project about the Democrats? I mean, what do you think? I mean, look, we beat on Republicans every single day. There's not a day that goes by where you and I aren't engaged in just absolutely beating Republicans to death. What about the Democrats? What does this say?
It says that we've let the party not only get hijacked by the centrists, but that some of these centrists, like, they're pretty nutty. I mean, there's no other way to say that. These are crazy actions. The dental cleaning, the 25,000 roses. Normal people don't do this. But what it shows is that these are people, both Marcos and Beto, that are held in high regard. And
by progressives.
Well,
by fringe progressives.
I would say more the establishment folks,
okay,
because Marcos and the Daily Kos has moved, to
right,
that establishment side.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Right.
And if your take is the Daily Kos is just a projection of Wall Street Democrats.
Right. It is
third way Democrats.
It's
right?
MSNBC, but in writing.
Okay.
And so,
he used to be with MSNBC until he said something that offended that nut Phil Griffin.
Yeah.
And they asked him to leave. I forgot what it was.
But it is sad to see this evolution of people like Marcos. I mean, Pelosi's not the worst human being in Congress. But she certainly is not the greatest. She hasn't been super effective. She already watered down, as we had previously talked about, that climate change committee as basically her first action after taking that gavel. I don't see great big things coming from her. And I don't know that we will.
No,
and
it's going to be, she has a wonderful opportunity to do something. And what it's going to do is digress into, we're going to have, what's his name, Schiff, take over the idea, investigate this, investigate that. And at the end of all of that, the American public's going to say, wait, what are y'all about?
Yeah.
What have you done? What are you doing to move us ahead, working people ahead? What are you doing? They're going to move on social issues, and they're going to say, well, we did this on LGBT, we did this on whatever it may be, race. But then the question's going to come from middle America. What did you do to improve my economic world? and it's nothing.
And if they don't have an answer for that within the next 2 years,
Oh,
they're going to look at a big defeat in 2020. And every poll out there, majority of Republicans and Democrats and everybody in between, says they wanted the Green New Deal. They want Medicare for all. They want $15 minimum wage. They want expansion. This is bipartisan.
Very specific about what they want. They want climate change under control. It's across the board. Look, one thing that you got to talk about. It's overwhelming that they're worried about immigration. Whether that's logical or not, it's out there. So what do you do about it? Okay, you say, okay, there's no wall, but you got to come up with something. You got to come up with something where the Democrats don't look like the party of nothing, which is what they have become, the party of nothing.
But a lot of that also gets addressed because when you look at the real studies that show what's happening down there, most of the unrest in Central America was caused by the United States.
Oh, absolutely.
Years ago, still doing it. But also climate change is what plays a major role in what's happening in Central America because they're losing farmland. They've got these horrid droughts. So we've also helped create those conditions that are making people flee through that. And so if the Democrats want to say we're going to do something on immigration, but it's not going to be a wall, what it's going to be
here's our plan. Okay.
Is we're going down that, sending aid, helping them to where they don't want to leave, they don't need to leave.
Right, but they have to talk about it, Farron, and it has to be somebody that can convey that. You saw the response on immigration. You saw Nancy Pelosi standing next to Schumer. They looked like morons. I was so embarrassed by it. They looked like morons. I mean, I'm sitting there looking at Tweetsville. It's going crazy. It's going, what in the world are they thinking? You got Schumer that looks like he's a mannequin whose eyes blink every now and then. Right. And and then you got Nancy Pelosi. It looks so ridiculous. Okay, that adds to the story, don't you see?
It does.
The roses, the Beto getting his teeth clean, the Schumer and Nancy show. There's a collective that just is not projecting well for the Democrats unless you're in some niche that you're unable to say it. You can't speak those words because you've become so tribal. Yeah. You've stopped thinking. You're just buying into what everybody's giving you in your tweet or your Facebook or whatever. You've stopped thinking. If you're rationally thinking and you're critically thinking, you can't help but say the overall picture is something we need to gain control of. There needs to be some forceful leadership up there. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm an independent, usually hugely progressive independent. But as I'm looking at this, I'm able to stand outside and say, my God, really?
Well, and that's the thing, too, is, you brought up social media. There are huge niche markets for people who think Bernie Sanders is Satan himself.
Oh, yeah.
There's huge niche markets for people who think Bernie Sanders is God. There's huge niche markets for conservatives who think they're intellectual but just sit there and, I'm young and hip and I'm a conservative, so I get 800,000 YouTube subscribers.
It's called celebrity cool.
Right, and so there's just, on both sides, there are these people and they've marketed it, whether they believe it or not, what they're saying, and I honestly believe most of them don't.
What are we? Sum it up. I mean,
we're not cheerleaders for anyone or anything,
it's balls and
except consumers. We're cheerleaders for American consumers, but that's it. If Bernie screws up, we're going to call him on it. If Pelosi screws up, we call her out. When Trump does, we call him out.
I don't know what else to do. I mean, if you're in the news business, you ought to at least be down the middle.
I guess that's what you'd call us. We're just news which people aren't used to anymore.
They hate it when they don't favor it.